I said these next 2 years are possibly the most dangerous time in American history, even if the GOP takes over in 2011. So what? First of all, since when have we been tight with a pocketbook? Secondly, President Obama still has a big fat veto pen. He's not going to allow any cut to go through unless he thinks it helps him and the Democratic Party. The people in Washington are not looking to help the country. They are fundamentally transforming the country. I believe, because of what Van Jones has said, anything that stirs his base to anger, like cutting education, he's going to be totally fine with. Any cut is going to hurt in the short term, but we have to cut to show the rest of the world that we are serious. And we also have to cut now because we are on this path. And right now is the time that we say, no, wait, don't eat all your provisions. We might be in there for a while. No. Don't spend all your money. Don't use your flashlights. We're going into a dangerous place. That is what we must do now. No one, not Bush, not anybody, have truly articulated what your real choices are. The closest came from Joe Biden when he said you had to keep spending. Here it is.
When I say that, people look at me and say, what are you talking about, Joe? You're telling me we got to go spend money to keep from going bankrupt? The answer is yeah, that's what I'm telling you.
No, that's not entirely true. You have to spend money to keep the illusion that you're going bankrupt going. You just want to keep the illusion that we're not going to, no problems are ahead. That you're eating all the food. You're using all the batteries. Joe, what you're doing is a Ponzi scheme. It's not a solution. If we keep spending, we will fall right off this cliff into the Grand Canyon. And then we won't have anything left to get us back out. If we remain standing on the edge, you're in trouble. Have you heard anybody in the media ask the president or any of his genius economists this question? Hey, Mr. President, you know, I read, I can figure out Weimar. Spending is really bad. What is your exit strategy? I mean, because if you're spending to jumpstart the economy and it's not working so far, A, when do you say that's enough, we've tried it enough, the car's not going to start? Or when do you stop? Because right now, here's how it's playing out. We need more stimulus money so teachers don't get fired. Then they pass a bill and give the teachers enough to last the year so they don't get fired. What happens when the year is over? Hey, we need more money so the teachers don't get fired. Well, at what point do we stop getting industries and unions and keeping them afloat with money that we don't have? Closer to home on this one, at what point do we tell the unions we are not responsible for your pensions? We cannot afford the pensions. We are entering a place where people cannot afford to even eat. You're not going to get your pensions. I'm sorry. It's jobs and the country or your pension. Let the unions figure that one out. But that would require a grown-up in the room. A grown-up that will level with the American people and their union members. You people that lead these unions, you got your pensions. They're fully funded. They're 120%. The workers, you're screwing them. You face them. We're big boys and big girls. We can handle it, and we can handle it calmly. Explain the grown-up choice, because you know what? You can handle anything calmly here, and this is where we are. You cannot handle things calmly when people are afraid in the forest, and you've lied to them and said, what forest? There's no trees on this path. You can either pin our hopes on a globalist redistribution of wealth, anti-free market policies that have never worked in the history of mankind. We can cross our fingers and hope to die and stick a needle in our eye and pray, well, not if the ACLU is anywhere around, that Marxism and printing money for the very first time will create prosperity. Yeah. Oh, and it doesn't bleed the country dry, so no resources are left, and money is completely worthless, and we've already chased all the business leaders and all the businesses overseas. And all the industry and all of the union and all the leaders are already overseas looking at us going, see you later, suckers. Or do you have an adult conversation like this? Cut spending dramatically now. It's not going to be pretty at first. It's going to hurt all of us. Remember, all the trillions our government is spending is they're spending it so they can take the Band-Aid off really slowly. They have artificially propped up failing institutions when what we need to do is let them fail and build a better one. You know, when we cut, you might lose your job, I might lose my job. You might lose your home, I might lose my home. We can slide into a depression. Pensions might be lost. There may be unrest in the streets, but we have each other. What is more important? What is our biggest asset? Our houses? Our jobs? Or each other? If it gets bad, we have each other. We must be prepared for it. Prepare to band together, come together, figure out the new ways to pay off our debts. Neither option is good. So why is the second option the best option? Because if you don't choose it, we get option number one automatically. We get a country with no work ethic. We have a dollar that is worth zero, you know, like France or Greece a few years ago. We are going to take our medicine now and get the truth or not. Are we going to do what other societies like Rome and everybody else have done and slowly slide into collapse until there's nothing left? I prefer the truth. I prefer a shot. We are in trouble either way, yes. But we are also the same people that changed the world because we did the hard things. We are the people that went to the moon and back. We can certainly find our way out of a forest. I've been saying for some time now that we need to be the people that we were on 9/12, but we need to be those people without the planes flying into the buildings. On that day, we didn't suddenly forget that we were Americans. We remembered who we really were. We forgot the political differences and the disagreements. And that wasn't something small. Do you remember how divided we were? Selected, not elected was going on. We were coming off the most contentious presidential election of all time. But when we saw those planes fly into the towers and into the Pentagon and into the field in Pennsylvania, we instinctively knew what had to be done. We knew we had to do it together, and we knew that we could. And that's what we did. We were frightened, but we faced our storm, we faced the forest, and we got through it. We tolerated the short-term pain, and we're still tolerating the pain of taking your stupid shoes off. We did it because we had to. There are now people overseas still fighting because they have to. Now the question is, can we come together and do the things we need to do before the financial planes hit the tower? Can we be prepared? Washington doesn't think you can do it. They want to take all of the responsibility out of your hands and place it in theirs. Don't let them do it. Some people are buying into that message, and some people are really helping that message. I want to play a call that I received on my radio show. I think it was yesterday. Watch.
I was at school the other day, and I heard some people talking socialists behind me, so I listened in on them. So they were comparing how, like, FDR's New Deal programs with Obama's programs, but saying that people were frustrated with Obama, and they were saying, like, they're having a meeting today, a big, like, rally, and they're saying that they've got to try and get average students involved in radicalism, but they need to build up, and they need to find the Democrats that are frustrated with Obama and then introduce them to socialism, and in their opinion, how much better.
Nicole, how
it really freaked me out, because it's one thing to hear it on TV and the radio, it's another thing to hear, you know, your peers talking 5 feet behind you about it.
Okay. Not long ago, in fact, I think 2 years ago, many people, even still today, it was inconceivable to have people actually buy into socialism and Marxism and communism. It's a concept that has been proven a failure every single time, and it's a deadly failure. Well, now it's up to you. It's up to you. What do you choose? You're going to have to get out and vote, and you're going to have to get people out to vote. I can't imagine that people wouldn't vote this time around, but so many people are still not awake. What's stopping us? You've got to wake up your friends and your neighbors And some of you are doing just that. I got a message the other day from a viewer who wrote, quote, "My cynical friend of 20 years says Glenn Beck and I have motivated him to finally register to vote, and he has convinced his wife." Let me tell you something. Fantastic. It doesn't even matter. I don't care if they're voting for a Democrat or Republican, whatever. Get out and stake your claim. Vote for the candidate you believe is bringing the truth. You make all of the difference. Now is the time.
Mr. President, Webster's defines extremism as the advocacy of extreme measures or views, radicalism, honor, the Constitution, family, and God. Not sure when those things became extreme. Maybe that was part of the fundamental transformation we missed? On November 2nd, vote Democrat, Republican, or Independent. But most importantly, vote for America.